Hey, Wyze, and I am very dark, but it's okay because I just wanted to talk about My Hero Academia chapter 335. I think I'm gonna start doing these little, these little discussions or reviews about My Hero Academia chapter 335 that's separate from everything, and I'm getting darker as the sun is going down, but you're just gonna have to say, just be okay with it. Because it allows me to be a little bit more intimate and open with you all about my genuine thoughts about the chapter, and hopefully you all enjoy. If you want more of these, let me know in the comment section below, and let's go ahead and talk about this chapter. This was a really good chapter. And a lot of people were saying that this was like a mid chapter, or they didn't enjoy it as much, or it was pretty much decent but not anything crazy. But these are the chapters that I personally live for, mainly because they kind of bring back a lot of things in the entire story of My Hero Academia. And for this chapter, it touched on every single plot line in the story, whether you noticed it or not. It touched on the One for All versus All for One storyline, it touched on the Todoroki storyline, and it actually finished off the UA Traitor storyline, which is easily the most disrespected storyline in the entire story. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard something along the lines that Horikoshi may have forgotten about the UA Traitor this entire time, which is quite disrespectful to me because this is his series. This is one of the most popular series in the entire story of My Hero Academia, and to say that he just forgot the most pivotal moments in his entire story just because he didn't reveal the traitor at an earlier point in time doesn't really make too much sense to me. But regardless, I think the UA Traitor is an interesting place to start in the first place. If you didn't know, Toru Hagakure is officially the UA Traitor. However, I do want to let everybody know that just because Toru Hagakure is the UA Traitor doesn't mean that characters like Aoyama or other characters in the series that are speculated to be UA Traitor still isn't the UA Traitor. And this is due to the fact that the reveal of Toru Hagakure being the UA Traitor was from All for Ones, and the implication that Horikoshi gave us that she is a UA Traitor, and not that she confirmed herself that she is a UA Traitor to Class A. The reason why this is important is because the thing that led up to it is All for One saying that he has many friends. So it's possible that even though Toru Hagakure, who was emphasized to be the friend of All for One, is the UA Traitor, there are other characters that she very much were connected to on a deeper level, it seemed to be, like such as Aoyama and Ojiro, who could have been helping her out in her devious plans to help All for One, making it so that there are still other traitors or people that could be viewed as traitors, even though they might not be traitors at all. But they might also be traitors depending on if she was able to introduce them to All for One or something along the line of that. We just don't know. Many people was talking about the fact that they didn't like Toru Hagakure being the traitor because it was too predictable. And to that I say, that's just bull jive. Honestly, I'm gonna actually save this for its own individual video, because if I rant right now, this is gonna be like a 30-minute rant, and I don't want to do that to you all. But it's kind of ridiculous that your first inclination of a UA Traitor isn't Toru Hagakure, but yet you say that it's very predictable when she is the UA Traitor, which makes you mad. And it's unfortunate that so many people don't like the chapter just because their expectation wasn't met, even though their expectations makes zero sense to the story. One thing that I really enjoyed about this chapter was the lead up to a potential training arc of the next couple of chapters, and I question that because it may be an actual training arc, but it also would be like a villain hunt at the exact same time, where Almighty is pretty much saying over the next week and a half the students need to prepare themselves to fight off against All for Shigaraki. However, it's not All for Shigaraki that they need to effectively attack right now, and instead it's the hundreds of thousands of underlings in the Paranormal Liberation Front and all the fodder villains that can potentially bolster the numbers of All for One. So it seems as though the direction that we're going to be going over the next couple of chapters is following Class A and potentially other students in Class B and maybe Shiketsu High and Ketsubutsu Academy, where we see them essentially taking down villains, but they're training at the exact same time. However, there is an emphasis on an exact training regimen that's going to be happening, and that has to do with Bakugo and Deku. Now this is actually huge because although Deku said that Bakugo is trying to help him master One for All, Bakugo's sole plan is actually to test his own new techniques on Deku, with the mindset that if he can effectively do anything against a One for All user, then he should be able to do a lot of damage against All for Shigaraki when they fight together. Meaning we are officially getting a Deku versus Bakugo part 3. However, there is a caveat because this is more so training and they can't really go all out, even though I think Bakugo and Deku will go all out, but we potentially will be able to get an explanation as to what happened in Bakugo in My Hero Academia chapter 285, where he sacrificed himself for Deku and evolved his quirk in some way, shape, or form. However, the most interesting thing out of that entire dialogue that Bakugo had with Deku and All Might was actually Shoto's reactions to Bakugo saying that if he can do anything to the One for All user, that he'll be effective against All for One. Shoto responding with "I see" while emphasizing his left side or his fire side. To me, that seems like Shoto may have his own training regimen with Endeavor to try to develop some new technique or something completely different to evolve his quirk in some way, shape, or form. We know he's been training with Endeavor ever since the Endeavor agency arc, but Horikoshi putting an emphasis on Shoto in this particular moment in time makes me super excited being a Shoto fan to see if we're going to get even a glimpse of training or fighting or something of Shoto in the future, especially in and seeing what he's been able to do when trying to capture Deku a couple of chapters ago, I think Shoto is about to have a huge leap in the entire story of My Hero Academia in the coming chapters. However, it still is confusing as to the trajectory of the entire series, because although All Might in his inner monologue is hyping up Class A, saying that they are strong and All For One might be underestimating them, I just get the feeling that all of this is just hype, and that this final war that All Might is hyping up is about to destroy everything about Hero Society in a nutshell. And that may be because when we transition from the heroes to the villains, one of the most interesting plot lines in the entire story got brought back again, where we see Shigaraki in a lot of pain from his fight between Star and Stripe, screaming, "I'll kill you, I'll kill you, I hate you." As long as even one person remembers All Might, this hatred will never cease to exist. So the hatred of Shigaraki is growing and growing as he is getting stronger and being exposed to more of the world who enjoys All Might, which very much tells me that All Might is 100% going to die the moment that Shigaraki lays his eyes on All Might, which also means that My Hero Academia isn't going to end anytime soon, right? Especially because we find out that one of the quirks that Shigaraki definitely still has from his fight between Star and Stripe is Search, and he used his Search quirk to find out that Deku is effectively at UA currently right now, meaning that the final battle in My Hero Academia is going to be brought to Deku and not to Shigaraki. There's just too much to talk about in this chapter, and I'm going to break it up into individual videos throughout the next couple weeks. Let me know what you think about the format of a longer form video once a week talking about the chapter when the chapter comes out every single Friday.